Hello, hello, hello. I jotted down some notes, so I'm going to be looking at my tablet so that I stay on track. But I got to get this done in the next couple of minutes because I need to go to work and get some things done. But I don't know if any of you have ever been distracted. And when I was writing this, it occurred to me that I hadn't been distracted really in this particular way for a very, very long time. And it was good and it was exciting, and I was actually happy for it. And I know you may be asking, so, and what does that mean exactly? Why is that something that is important? Well, let me go back a little bit. When I was in school, mostly all the way through high school, because my maiden name started with a W, I was always in the back by the window. I think every blue moon I'd have a teacher that would reverse seat us alphabetically, so that put me in the front by the door. But most of the times I was in the back by the window. And that lent itself to me being distracted by, if the football team was practicing, or if there was a gym class, or whatever was going on. It didn't even have to be that exciting. It could just be leaves in the trees. I was very, very aware of what was going on out there. And that also meant that if the teacher were to ask me a question, I would be completely unaware of what they were talking about. No idea, completely distracted, didn't know the answer. Hence, that may have contributed to the grades that I got back then. And I would tell anyone today that, knowing what I know now, that I would not have listened to people when they would tell me that being distracted means that I don't have any focus, that I'm not committed, that I'm always off track, and blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. And I guess to an extent part of that is true. It can definitely be true, but and you don't want people to be distracted all the time. I mean, you don't want people to be distracted in the middle of surgery or in the middle of flying a plane. That's probably not the healthiest thing in the world. But on the basis of what was going on then, that distraction wasn't necessarily a bad thing. And don't get me wrong, if you were taught to my mom back then, or even as she got older, she would have told you that I was the worrier child, that I was the all or nothing child. If I couldn't do it perfectly, I didn't feel it was worth doing at all, which means I missed out on a great deal because of that mindset. And it put me in a place where I became a child of extremes. It was either I was extremely motivated, doing it, focused, or I was not trying to do it at all. And I was disgruntled by my inability to be perfect at it. But in the midst of all of that, in the midst of growing through that, and once again I told you I was checking my notes to make sure I don't fall completely off the rails, I was very good at, I call distractions also daydreaming. Because let me tell y'all something, I would daydream about what I wanted in my life, what I was going to do to get it, how determined I was going to be for it, and I wouldn't if I would latch onto something, I wouldn't let people stop me. I wouldn't let what they thought of me, what they said I couldn't do, stop me. And who is they? Who's always the they? It's always the people that think that they can't embrace your vision. They can't understand what you're doing. They don't have a feel for how it's beneficial. Sometimes they don't want you to get hurt if they think you can't do it. But if I set my mind to things back then, I could daydream about them every day, until I got what I wanted. And not to say that happened all the time, but it helped me visualize getting what I wanted, what that felt like, and what I would do when that happened. And a lot of times it wasn't because I was the most talented person for the task. It many times was all about my determination, my grit, my hustle, that put me in a position where I actually was able to win or do or succeed in that situation. And I tell you, I understand now how those distractions, those daydreams were so exciting, are so exciting. It's freeing. I'll be honest with you, it's very freeing to recapture that place in my life, that daydreaming, that being okay with being distracted kind of situation. I'm excited about what I can do with that. And I can imagine someone says, why would you even bring that up now? How is that important? You're going to be 56 years old in a few days, 9 days. No, 8 days. I can do math. 8 days now. Wow, 8 days. And it's because it's allowed me to get back into the place where I'm recapturing the bigger the better in my spirit. It's allowed me a chance to determine that I don't need to listen to what people are telling me can't be done, even me. Because after all, aren't we all the best at discouraging ourselves from doing what we think we can't do before we've even tried? And also, to understand that even though people mean well, and I'm going to read this exactly the way that I put it on the page, my notes, there are people who even believe that they are encouraging you because they, and there's that they again, have the answers to how you should think, feel, walk, talk in order to get whatever it is you need to get done or not get done. And that because faith dictates that let me put it this way. I need to believe that I can't lose because faith dictates that whatever the outcome, as long as God's hand's in it, it's a win. Okay? As long as God's hand is in it, it's a win. And that faith is the belief in the distraction, y'all. It's the belief in the distraction. It's the belief in the daydream. It's the desire to blaze a trail even though, and I'll put this in air quotes, no one else has ever done it, tried it, succeeded at it, believed in it, seen it. That's what faith is. The very nature of having faith is all of those things. And heading into chapter 56, who started that? I love that. You know, when people refer to their birthdays as chapter something. But heading into chapter 56, y'all, I encourage you all to embrace the distraction, embrace the daydream, to utilize that as a walk, a faith walk. And not because you need me to give you permission to do that, but because you need to give yourself permission to believe again like that, to be distracted like that, to have the daydreams like that, to have the desires like that. And if I can tell you anything that I have learned going into chapter 56 is that life won't give it to you. You have to take it. You have to take it. As is always, I hope something that I've said or done is going to bless you. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get to making my daydream and making that distraction come to fruition. Love y'all to pieces. Have an amazing Friday. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.